You talk like Buffett, but you traded like a meme. Slipped in a red, now you're crying on your screen. Took your grandma's cash, called it venture seed. Now your portfolio's a graveyard full of greed. You bought the top with the flex on X, while I was buying puts and cash in checks. You said long term, I said max pain. Watch you YOLO in and get margin drained. You're in your group chat begging for hopium. I'm on the yacht with charts that keep going up. You play with dreams, I scalp with the rage. You're writing Reddit posts, I'm setting the stage. It's green, bitch, welcome to the slaughter. I rinse fools like you just to make my quarter. Tears in your ledger, down bad, no shame. You held the bag, I rigged the game. I got rich off your dumbass plan. You FOMO'd in while they ran the scam. If you could, you'd trade like me, but you're broke with hope and zero IV. You made a Discord, thought you were the plug. Now you're getting margin called by your plug. I saw your play in front, ran that mess. Lit a cigar with your last express. Sipping on green, I ain't talking juice. Talking that cash, you go chart abuse. I'll double top your confidence while your 401k's begging for oxygen. Talking about community, that shit's a cult. I shorted your hope, then blamed the vault. I'm the rug in your roadmap, the glitch in your pitch. You post L's daily, I just get rich. It's green, bitch, welcome to the slaughter. I rinse fools like you just to make my quarter. Tears in your ledger, down bad, no shame. You held the bag, I rigged the game. I got rich off your dumbass plan. You FOMO'd in while they ran the scam. If you could, you'd trade like me, but you're broke with hope and zero IV. It's green, bitch, welcome to the slaughter. I rinse fools like you just to make my quarter. Tears in your ledger, down bad, no shame. You held the bag, I rigged the game. I got rich off your dumbass plan. You FOMO'd in while they ran the scam. If you could, you'd trade like me, but you're broke with hope and zero IV.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, brother.
Hola, hola, hola. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I'm Matt, your Kohrs, and together we might be able to pull off this show. Folks, I hope you're having an absolutely phenomenal Thursday morning, and I hope you had a phenomenal Wednesday night. Hope you made a bunch of money with the FOMC. As you can see in pre-market trading, yeah, we're giving a little bit back right now, but we did technically, if you're counting pre-market trading, hit a new all-time high. And in all reality, depending on where we open today, we actually still might be seeing a new all-time high. So what I want to do today is get into a little bit of just political drama to kick off the show, because I know when you guys absolutely love when I talk about politics. Then I want to get into kind of a breakdown, if you will, a little bit of an explanation of really what played out yesterday, but most importantly, how the Fed rate decision yesterday is setting us up for the remainder of the year. And then we also have some individual equity news. I don't know if you guys have seen Intel yet this morning, but INTC is up a fat 32%. Holy guacamole, Batman. Closed out the day at $24.90, currently trading at 33 buckaroos. Obviously, big announcement there, so I'll be explaining that as well. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of a breakdown, a little bit of chit chat of key levels, support, resistance, how to play it, ideas of really the setup, because don't forget, today we already got some announcements, initial jobless claims, Philadelphia Fed manufacturing numbers, actually both were better than anticipated, but this is all kind of a setup for tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, the 19th, it is not just a normal Friday. It is a monthly expiration, but it's not just a normal monthly expiration. It also happens to be a quadruple witching. This happens 4 times a year. It's the quarterly expiration, and it just basically means a bunch of money is in contracts that all expire tomorrow, which means decisions have to be made. Do they want to take their profits? Do they want to lock in a loss? Do they want to roll it? Do they want to roll it down? Do they want to roll it up? What do they want to do, especially as it's coming at new all-time highs? So that's kind of the plan. I want to prep you guys up, and by the time the market goes dingity ding ding ding, hopefully we're all a little bit more prepared for whatever insanity is about to ensue. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you had a great day yesterday. I hope you had a great morning today. And before we get into all the nitty-gritty details and whatnot, if you guys could help me out, I know it's annoying to remind you, and I know I say this a lot, but truly it is the best thing you could do to possibly support the team's effort, to support the community, is don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. So whether you're watching on Rumble or YouTube, or maybe you're streaming this live through my OnlyFans channel, I don't know how you're watching it, but don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. All that stuff is 100% free, and it truly does help get this community, this content in front of other like-minded, degenerate gamblers. And on that note, we should get talking. I guess, first of all, shout out to Apex. Remember, code Goonie, 80% off. And also shout out to Take Profit Trader. You could get 40% off and no activation fee with the code Goonie. Right now, both of these, they're probably the 2 most common SIM-funded firms that I personally use. They both have different pros and cons. They are slightly different. I think that you should take advantage of the pros and kind of play the cons off of each other. As you guys have seen in my own accounts, like I said, I use Apex right here. I use Take Profit right there. They're 2 of the most popular ones. So just shout out to them. They are both the stream sponsors. So check them out. No activation fee, 40% off in Take Profit Trader. On Apex, there is an activation fee, but it's 80% off the eval. Like I said, I use them both. Check them out. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. And because of the success of you guys recently signing up with Apex, yes, good news. We got more accounts to give away. And like I said, the more and more as a community you guys use that code Goonie, we're going to be able to get more and more free accounts to do the giveaways with. And I'm actually in the middle of finishing up that deal with Take Profit as well. Same thing there. The more and more that we can basically use that code, they're going to give us more and more free accounts. So basically, people helping people. So don't forget to use that code Goonie when you are signing up. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. And now let's get rocking. Dow futures gained 300 points as traders digest Fed rate cut outlook. What is this one? David Tepper says Fed could cut a few more times, but easing too much risks entering danger territory. Why are they doing it like a marquee scroll? That's it's almost way too slow, like that. What do they think? I know I have the reading ability of a second grader, but even that was a little slow for me. Come on, guys. Are they speeding it up? Nope, it's still as slow as it was. Anyway, the big news yesterday was the fact that we got a 25 bips rate cut. It wasn't surprising. For quite a while, we knew it was 25. For a little bit there was some discussion, is it going to be 50 bips? But it ended up being 25, which going into it, I believe there was a 95% probability of it. So really the question from here on out is, what are the following meetings going to be in October and in December? Are we going to get a 50 bips? Are there going to be 2 25s in a row? Is only one going to be a 25? So that's the big lingering question, and I have a bit on that. But the other big news, and this is where I said I was going to get political, crazy. Disney pulls Kimmel Live over the host Charlie Kirk's remarks. So I didn't find out about this until late last night because I was just so, enamored with the price action of yesterday, and I was so drilled into the stock market that it wasn't until late last night that I realized there was a big cultural announcement. ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel Show off air indefinitely over Charlie Kirk comments. Before I knew it, my Twitter, my content all over, whether it was Rumble or YouTube or TikTok or Reddit, it didn't matter. Everyone was talking about this. Disney subsidiary ABC pulled the Jimmy Kimmel Live show off the air indefinitely after its host controversial comments about the alleged killer of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The FCC suggested ABC's broadcast license was at risk for Kimmel's statements about Tyler Robinson. So this wasn't just ABC like making a business decision. The FCC got involved in this. So you could argue in a certain sense there was a bit of political pressure. Nexstar Media Group, which is seeking FCC approval for a multi-billion-dollar merger with Tegna, said its ABC affiliates would not air Kimmel's show before ABC announced its own decision. So once again, the FCC didn't just get involved. It's almost kind of smells as if the FCC said, we might not approve this merger unless you do exactly what we want you to do. President Donald Trump called ABC's move great news for America. So this is all the hot news as of yesterday. Here's what Bloomberg had to say on the subject.
Well, this is all centered on comments made by Kimmel, which focused on the response of the Trump-supporting MAGA movement to political activist Charlie Kirk's killing in Utah. And actually, for Disney, it's not really the first time they've been landed in hot water over this sort of political commentary. Actually, last year, they had to pay $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit that was brought by President Donald Trump over comments made by their host, George Stephanopoulos. And they made this decision to suspend the show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, just minutes after Nexstar Media Group, which is one of the biggest owners of TV shows in the US, said it would pull the show indefinitely from all of its statements over those remarks that they said were offensive and insensitive. Up until that point, though, sources who spoke to Bloomberg say the show was planned to go ahead and that Kimmel was set to address the backlash on Wednesday's episode, which he had rehearsed that morning. But, I mean, for Disney, this is a big deal. Kimmel is one of their biggest stars. You know, last month, despite a drop in ratings, his show still attracted over 1.1 million viewers. And for ABC, it's their longest-running late-night talk show. It's been going since 2003, and now it's off the air indefinitely, according to an ABC spokesperson. So a major blow.
Yeah, I mean, Kimmel was effectively trying to say that he thought the Republicans were using the killing to try to bolster their own political case, effectively. What's been the reaction to all of that?
Well, from the broadcast and entertainment industry, the reaction has been quite negative. The BBC is reporting that the Writers Guild of America, Hollywood's labor union, has condemned this decision. They said it's a violation of constitutional free speech rights. And similarly, SAG-AFTRA, another actors union, has said the move was the type of suppression and retaliation that endangers everyone's freedoms. But conversely, the Trump camp, on the other hand, is positive about this move. President Trump saying it's great news for America on social media and congratulating ABC for its courage. I mean, it's definitely an interesting time for late night TV as a whole. This is coming 2 months after the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show. And also in other posts on social media, President Trump went on to take aim at the rest of the industry, also criticizing other late night hosts, Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers. So a very interesting and perhaps controversial time for the broader industry.
What about the network ABC? What have they said about all of this?
Well, they have left the suspension open-ended, calling it indefinite through their spokesperson. But apart from that, we don't have much more detail. Actually, Nexstar Media Group, who own a number of their affiliates, have been far more prescriptive in their judgment on the situation. They say they strongly object to the comments and also acknowledge the timing of them, saying they were particularly insensitive at a critical time for national political discourse. So that's what we have at the moment. Questions still around about the future of Jimmy Kimmel at the broadcaster ABC and whether or not his tenure will continue as well as that of his show.
Obviously, some very, very big news, and I want to get all your thoughts on it before we continue with the economy, monetary policy, stocks, and degenerate gambling. But I have a hot take, and I know you guys woke up this morning and you're probably thinking to yourself, man, I would love Matt's hot take on this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. And my hot take is this, is it actually has, it kind of has to do with politics, but I don't think this has anything to do with ABC or Nexstar actually caring about what Jimmy Kimmel said. I think they clearly want this merger to go through, and they're going to not want to rock the boat with the FCC. So hang on, if all of a sudden the FCC, probably at Trump's desire, is looking into, they're like, okay, cool, we don't want to weigh that out. But more importantly, remember just now how they referenced Stephen Colbert? it's kind of a well-known thing that these shows are not profitable. So if you are looking at a business merger, and really I'm thinking about this exclusively through a business sense, I think they were already looking for a reason to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel, just because they're like, okay, to sweeten the deal, to make this a better business decision, to make the probability of them saying yes higher. They probably already wanted to get rid of him, and now all of a sudden they just had cause to do it. So I think they are jumping on this commentary as it relates to Charlie Kirk, and I know you guys are all going to have thoughts on whatever, free speech, this, that, the other thing of can he say it? If he can say it, should be free of consequences. Maybe you should be able to say it, but you still have to accept the consequences. I understand that entire discussion, but I think this was actually happened so rapidly just because I deeply believe from the merger perspective, they didn't want to upset the FCC. And I think as really, once again, from the merger perspective, I think they wanted to already get rid of them. And now they just found a reason to do it. I don't think that this is necessarily either ABC or Nexstar standing up proud and saying, how could you possibly say that about Charlie Kirk? I think they are wrapping it up in that. But I think underneath, they were already like, hey, this is the reason. Like, we wanted to get rid of him. We saw it with Stephen Colbert. We know that these types of shows are absolutely hemorrhaging money. Interestingly enough, though, when they got rid of Colbert, it brought his ratings even higher because all of a sudden it put his name back into mainstream media, which he was already kind of there, but more so. And then all of a sudden his views and stuff got up. So what's weird is these late night shows, when they're getting canceled, it's actually making them more popular than they ever were. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar reaction here. But overall, once again, exclusively through the lens of this merger, I think they were looking like to get rid of them. I don't think this is any of the businesses like standing up virtuously and saying, how could you possibly say that? I think as many things in this world, the decision was made by the almighty dollar. But like I said, those are my own thoughts and opinions. And I would actually love to hear from you because this is very interesting in terms of you can agree. And I guess I'm just assuming here. I think many of you watching this agree in free speech. And in a weird way, it's kind of against free speech, but he's also not in legal trouble. Just because we have free speech as a right in this country doesn't necessarily mean you're free from consequence. And obviously, he just ran into a consequence right now. So you could see that. But then on the other side, you could say, well, is it right that there's political pressure? Because now the FCC is involved. It's one thing if ABC wasn't trying to get this merger through with the FCC and it was just a business decision. But clearly there is a political aspect to this. And you always have to remember, whether you are applauding something or booing something, imagine if it's the other way. Always imagine, especially in such a, in my opinion, in such a heightened political polarized time, if you are applauding or booing something, please remember, if it happens the exact opposite way, whether you like the person, imagine if it happened to a person you hated. If it happened to a person that you hate, imagine if it happened to a person you like. Would you still be applauding? Would you still be booing? And in this one, I think that's a very, very interesting vantage point to consider this problem. Imagine if there was a very right-leaning late night host and he said something, whether you agree or disagree, that's not really the point of this story. It's more of imagine if the other political party was in power and they pressured the FCC to put pressure on the merger that the company's going through. I think that's a very healthy way to approach this. It already happened to conservatives for years, like the last 4 years. Can you name a single time that the FCC ever pressured? You're saying that this happened, but at no point, I can't name a point, that there was a merger going on and the FCC basically came in and said, hey, we're not going to allow this merger to go through. Jay Leno, that was not a part of a merger. You're now just making things up. Like, this is a big $1 billion merger we're talking about, like actual, like a huge conglomerate. Jay Leno is not an example. There wasn't a merger at risk. Obviously, you could argue there was a bit of political pressure in terms of they didn't like what he was saying. But it's a different lens when you now have almost like the economic political arm, the FCC, now getting involved and basically saying, hey, would be a huge bummer if this didn't go through. It adds an interesting lens through it. And I think like there's definitely many facets of this particular decision to consider. And I'm just saying, and also, hey, hang on. No, it's the same shit. No, it's not. Not at all. But once again, I'm seeing, especially on Rumble right here, you guys are arguing, oh no, but it's happening to us. Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because something bad has happened does not then give you the right, well, okay, no, it's all right that another bad thing happens. That's not good for society. That's not good for progress. And honestly, I think that's a very toddler-esque view to look at this of like, okay, no, I admit it's bad, but I think it's okay because the bad things happen to me. Like, what do you mean, man? That's such a piss poor way to like look at this world. Just because something bad historically has happened, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, nope, it's an eye for an eye. And then all of a sudden it's just going to always like spiral out of control. You have to, at a certain point, realize that just because something bad has happened, that does not mean that it's acceptable for it to happen moving forward. Like the entire point is to like stop that. We want to improve. We don't want to argue that like we're allowed to take egregious missteps just because egregious missteps in the past have already happened. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. How many people have to die, Matt? What the fuck are you talking about? How many people have to? In what world? What fucking jumps did you just make? This is honestly one of the least enjoyable parts of my job is that right there, is how spun up people are. What are you smoking? See, people are just so stupid. They don't realize how stupid they are. Like you are the exact example. You are the sponge who got inundated with news. You have no critical thought for yourself. You are just regurgitating crazy things that you've heard. And honestly, you can't even rely on your own self-generated thoughts. You're just honestly regurgitating and puking absurd rhetoric. You don't even know what you think. And the sad thing is you're an adult. I don't know what happened in the American education system, but at some point there had to be a time period where critical thought was lost. And this is it right here. You see it on the extreme left, you see it on the extreme right, and everyone in the middle pays the price for the absolute idiocracy on the extremes of both sides. The absolute idiocracy of both sides. And it's that extreme, like we're stuck. The 98% of us in the middle, we're just getting ripped around by the 1% on each side. And I don't know, right now, you're always just sitting here waiting to see which side is going to do the dumber fucking thing. And it's all of us that have a little bit of an ability to do some critical thought that we're just paying the price. We're paying the price for everyone else's absolute, like, legitimate retardation. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Anyway, back to more important stuff with respect to the market, at least. Powell's last stand, balancing a tricky economy and intense political pressure. Actually, this is another one that's there's so many people that are so confident that the Fed rate cut should be 300 bips lower just because the political party that you agree with, they told you that. And yet you don't know anything about monetary policy. At no point in your life did you even do 30 minutes of monetary policy, economic research. But because someone said one thing and because you agree with that person, you just assume it's true. We are stuck in this cycle of, if someone you agree with says something, you assume truth. If someone says something that you disagree with, you assume a lie. That is so incredibly dangerous. Your assumption of truth or a lie, accuracy or inaccuracy, should not be dependent on if you beforehand like them or dislike them. People you dislike can say an accurate thing. People you like can say an inaccurate thing. That is possible. But this is another example of it, of the amount of people in this particular example, and there's many examples of it. You're like, yeah, no, it should be 300 bips later. Why? Like they can't tell you a singular fact, not one singular factoid of monetary policy, of the economy. And they're like, well, here we go. Here we go. It should be 300 bips just because they heard it. Just because they heard it, honestly, with not a modicum of research, which honestly is probably making the current, I guess, cycle if you will, of monetary policy that much more difficult, because clearly there's a lot of political pressure, and there shouldn't be political pressure on the Fed. Remember, they have a dual mandate, price stability and the job market. And right now there's a lot of political pressure to cut rates. And then the whole, I guess, decisions being made that much more complicated by the fact that we're finding out all these job numbers are apparently just a lie. So we don't even really have a fair take of where the job market's at. We have a better idea of what's going on with inflation, but the job market, it feels like it's fugazi. Is it good? Is it not good? Can we trust this number? People are getting fired. People are getting hired. This, like when you have a dual mandate and all your models are based on data, and then we find out the data's bullshit, you don't know. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it right where it needs to be? So it definitely is tricky. The Fed makes a risk management rate cut and Powell scores a win. So the real TLDR, if you didn't catch yesterday's show, is basically, hang on, we think the risk in the world of the labor market is increasing. Before this, they're like, okay, the risk is just super high inflation, job market's fine, we're not worried about that. They think kind of as a gradient, instead of it all being on inflation, it's now picking up a little bit. And now, because there seems to be some cracks in the world of the job market, especially at lower income, and as they refer to it as marginalized communities, they figure, okay, we're going to give it a rate cut. So the last time we got a rate cut was at the end of last year, September, October, and December of last year, rate cut, rate cut, rate cut. And then we took basically off all year this year, and now we just got the first rate cut. And as of now, it looks like as we're going to get another 50 bips between now and the end of the year, as in another one in October and another one in December. As U.S. jobs disappear, the Federal Reserve returns to rate cuts. I don't understand how this isn't a bigger story. It felt like maybe for half a day it was a big story, that $900,000 job revision, where they're like, oh, it actually turns out all of these jobs that we thought we had are actually not accurate. Now, even Powell was talking about this yesterday, of how difficult it is to get accurate numbers because people don't respond to the surveys. When they do respond to the surveys, it's oddly late. So we already know the data collection, for whatever reason, is that low. I don't know. I mean, you would assume a basic thing of like, we know payrolls are filed with the government. Why can't it be based off like clear payroll number? Something we're not relying on surveys and people responding. You think that like in the modern era, we can't collect better job data? It blows my mind. But obviously yesterday, the chairman of the Fed, Powell, was lamenting about how difficult it is to get that data. And it got so extreme to the point that not only did we have the revision of the 900,000 jobs, but on top of that, the lady leading the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, she just got fired. And I'm sure even from there, I am by no means an expert on how we get this data or collect it, but I'm sure with the big pivot in immigration and what's going on with ICE in the U.S., that clearly has to have an impact on these numbers as well. So yeah, it makes it extraordinarily tricky. Where was this? Was it on this next one over here? Powell rallies Fed colleagues as economic political risks grow. So, okay, right here. This is what I wanted to play. This one.
In support of our goals and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by a 0.25 percentage point. The labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation and all those things. I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers for May, June, July, and August, I can no longer say that. We did welcome a new committee member today, as we always do, and the committee remains united in pursuing our dual mandate goals. I think you could think of this in a way as a risk management cut. Inflation, we continue to expect it to move up, maybe not as high as we would have expected it to move up a few months ago. The pass-through of the tariffs into inflation has been slower and smaller.
So right there, kind of his generalization of the risk has changed. That's why we got the rate cut, but still not as big as some people wanted. New Trump appointee Herein calls for a half-point cut in only dissent as rest of Fed bands together. So remember, there are 12 voting members. 7 are governors, and then obviously you have the Powell, and then you also have rotating bank leaders, kind of. And anyway, even with this new guy, and this is what I find a little bit interesting, even with this guy who just got accepted, was just appointed by Trump, he wasn't calling for 300 bips. Even the guy who, like, right now in the composition of the voting FOMC board, the guy who's going to be the most MAGA, the most Trump, he saw 50 bips. So even as our president is screaming for 300 bips, I need you to understand that the guy he hand selected to put in for this particular vote, even that guy's like, yeah, 50 bips and maybe 125 by the end of the year. Like, he's not even at the halfway point of this rhetoric that we're hearing. And this is the most MAGA guy. He literally just got hand selected. And it's kind of interesting to see how it played out. So every other FOMC meeting, you get the SEP, the Summary of Economic Projections. First of all, pretty good numbers. They're expecting an increase in GDP, unemployment to stay the same at a very low level of 4.5%, inflation to hold steady. They do think inflation might tick up a little bit next year. That's not so good, but all the other numbers are pretty good. But anyway, coming back to the hand selected person, he's right here. So everyone else voted unanimously for 25 bips. There was one dissenting vote for a 50 bips. And then other than that, this is kind of where we're at. Very quickly, hang on that note.
Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. And if not, have fun.
All right, so as this is opening, don't be surprised, a little bit of profit taking, downside gap fill. I'm stoked that the SPY already got it, giving us maybe an opportunity to bounce. But anyway, just to finish this part up, Powell's path might be just fine for stocks and bond prices. Remember, JP Morgan did research on this, that when we get a rate cut and we're within 1% of an all-time high, the average return over the next 12 months is 15%, as in we might be talking about 7,600 by September of 2026. And just so you know, we are currently trading at 6,600, as in another 1,000 points. I just want everyone to keep that in mind. Also, just kind of our counterpoint across the pond, Bank of England holds rates steady with a further 2025 cut hanging in the balance. So they didn't change their rates at all. With respect to announcements today, we already got the stuff this morning. Initial jobless claims, manufacturing already fine. And I do want to remind you, even though there's nothing right now on the schedule for tomorrow, tomorrow is OPEX. It is not just a normal one. It is a quadruple witching one. So get ready for that. There's $1.1 trillion in Delta notional value expiring all tomorrow. It's gonna be a big one. Please pay attention. And also, with respect to individual equities, Intel surges 30% after NVIDIA says it will invest $5 billion in the chip maker, co-developed data centers, and PC products. That's exactly why I have Intel on the screen today, currently up 25%. Huge one. I know some people in the Discord caught it. I didn't. I'm not really a big Intel trader. Not at all, but if you caught it, seriously, a massive congrats to you. And the other one on my radar right now for a potential breakout is Tesla. So as we're waiting for the opening session to play, let me give you the key levels of the day. As I always do, we mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white. And in fact, this dash line happens to not just be the high from 2 sessions ago, it happens to be the all-time high, which means whatever today's intraday high is the new all-time high. So wherever we go today, that is the new record level for the S&P 500. Obviously, we have some support here between the highs, between this key level and the top of the transition zone. My first target is 6650, and then there's a little bit of open interest at 6660. So I'm kind of looking within this 10-point region for target number 1. Target number 2 is 68. And then 700 is my ultimate reach target of the day. That would be the bull case. The bear case is we fail here and then we get sucked into the transition zone at 6615. Then we're looking at 6,600 and my reach target would be 5590, something like that. But there's quite a bit of stickiness at 6,600. Speaking of stickiness, you can see for the first time in a minute, we're actually kind of now in negative gamma. This hasn't happened in a bit, but you can see the gamma is actually breaking negative right here. So 6,600, some people are playing that. So we might get a little bit of a push there. But if this can hold, we have an opportunity for kind of a nice trend following-esque setup. So I just wanted to put that on your radar that it's been a minute since we've been in negative gamma and we finally are. I actually think it's been a couple weeks. So yes, there is supportive positive gamma below us, just below 6,600, hence why that is kind of my reach target down here of if you are short, that's where I'd be taking my profits. Personally, I'm not playing it, but obviously do whatever you think is appropriate. But as long as we can hang out up here, That means we're hanging out in negative gamma, which means if we get trending, we're going to have the market makers supporting that move. Remember, negative gamma is trend following. Positive gamma is mean reverting. It's not necessarily bullish or bearish. Both could be bullish or bearish. So if we start to trend, all of a sudden, as the negative gamma grows and grows, that means that the market makers are going to have to buy more of the underlying, pushing us higher and higher and higher, which is kind of why I'm excited about this setup at 6,700. Like I said, it's a reach target. I do have other targets on the way, target number 1, target number 2, but I just want to let you know that that is in play for today. Personally, I am biased to the bullish side today because we just hit an all-time high, and if you've done any research on the overall market, you know that new highs commonly beget new highs, so I'm not looking to fade this whatsoever. If we end up having a bearish day, I'm just going to miss it. I'll close out my bullish positions and I'll move on with my life, but I just want to let you know that yes, I always prepare a bull case and a bear case, but I just wanted to let you folks know that I'm only interested in taking advantage of the bear case early this morning and really all day today. And then I also marked out the levels on NQ. Friendly neighborhood reminder, don't forget to switch up your contracts. If you are trading on the September contract on the futures market for NQ or ES or something like that, you're going to want to roll it to December. You probably should have already done that yesterday, but instead of trading the September contract, get it to the December, which means you're going to go from the U contract to the Z contract. So little friendly neighborhood reminder to switch your contracts because they will be expiring tomorrow. And right now, this is where quite a bit of the open interest is. Quite a bit of the open interest. And other than that, I guess we're going to see the opening session. I don't have a position on Intel. I do on Tesla. Speaking of Tesla, here's some of the interesting levels that I'm seeing today. Here's a couple of the interesting levels. So we're trading just below 430. So right here, 435 is big resistance. That would be a shorter term target. So looking for that break of 435 and then obviously a push to 450, 455. And then there's even another thing up here at 470. So I'm looking for Tesla to take out this major resistance today. So that's a big one on Tesla if you're playing it. With respect to the Mag 7 options flow, let me reload this. Thus far this morning, flat, slightly to the upside, and the Mag 7 flat, slightly to the upside. So the flow coming out of the gate, pretty decent. I've seen better days on Tesla. Like I said, I want to see that break at 435. Another one on my radar right now is CoreWeave. Waiting to see if we can see some follow through on that one. It's kind of knocking on the door of the breakout. I currently have no position, but I am waiting on that one. Oracle, I was waiting to see if this could reverse, put in a higher low. We haven't seen it yet. Palantir, I'm so incredibly pissed off. My risk got hit yesterday, and then it right away rebounded, and I would have been in such good profit. I'm so angry about this play. Unfortunately, wicked out by this, and if only I held. That thing is looking good. Robinhood's looking pretty good as well. Apple, it's knocking on the door of a breakout. NVIDIA, nice higher low reversion. There is a downside gap fill you should be mindful of, but also you're looking for that recapture of 177. AMD getting hit after this news between the partnership of NVIDIA and Intel. Broadcom not really doing much. Meta going up, even though that their display, their Meta glasses, whatever they had like a public event yesterday, went horrible. Even with that in mind, it's still going up. Microsoft not really doing anything. Hut 8 is continuing higher and higher. Coinbase picking up a little bit. MicroStrategy picking up a little bit. Netflix picking up after they lost one of their C-suite executive people. So that's kind of the skinny on the day. I'm very upset that I'm missing this Palantir play. I already had the position and I was forced out of it yesterday. That one sucks. Hood looks interesting. I like the setup on Tesla. I want to see that follow through to, I suppose, 440. I'm waiting on Oracle to see if it can rebound. Hood, the nice entry was on Tuesday of this week, and you're getting that follow through to a new all-time high. Apple should be on your watch list. So I guess Tesla looks interesting to me. CoreWeave looks interesting. Palantir does, but it upsets me. Oracle, I'm waiting on. And those are probably my top plays at the moment. On the moment. Yeah, let me get that ready. Oh, and then I forgot to do it for you. So I know I went over the XPX levels, but let me give you the SPY and the Qs as well, the same gamma levels. I've been writing them down every morning, and honestly, I know it helps a lot of you out, but if anything, it helps me out as well. So the SPY, It's at a key level right now of 662. If it could break this, you're looking at 664. If it can't, we're looking at somewhere between 658 and 659. Once again, that's for the SPY. The Q's currently trading at 595. If it can't hold 595, you're looking at 593. If it can get above 595, you're looking at 600. IWM is currently trading at 241. The breakout level's at 242. If it can't do that, the next support's all the way down at 235. But if it does break 242, you're looking at 244. With respect to Tesla has support at 420, and you're looking for that breakout of 435. With respect to CoreWeave, you have support at 120. You're looking for the breakout at 130. With respect to Oracle, you are... Yeah, it already broke down that 300 level support, so that's not looking good there. So maybe that one, the play is not going to be setting up to today. With respect to Palantir, the breakout's at 175, so it's actually getting very close to it. Looks like it already tagged it a little bit this morning, so something to consider there. Palantir one, oh, dude, that play is going to piss me off so much. That play is going to piss me off so much. I had it. I had the positioning. It's just your risk gets hit. Sometimes you get wicked out. Shit happens. I know some of the people in the Discord, the Goonie Trading Discord, decided to white knuckle through it. And obviously you took on a risk, but congrats to you because that paid handsomely. It paid handsomely, and it's still showing quite a bit of strength. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. NVIDIA's up 2%, giving some back there. Broadcom trying to go green. Meta trying to go green. Palantir, look at that gain. Oracle's getting hit. We're going to move Oracle down. We're downgrading that one. Hood's having a great day. We're targeting all-time highs, clearly, on that bad mamma jamma. Oh, brother.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Nice. Icarus taking that breakdown trade right there. For some reason, it didn't trade on the 50K accounts, which are now pro accounts. I finally passed those yesterday. I just needed 5 trading days. It didn't trade on those for some reason, but it did trade on the 150s and locked in a nice $170. So I'm not going to complain about that by any means. What do I think about IONQ? The whole quantum computing sphere right now is catching a very nice bid. So IONQ, I mean, you shouldn't chase it. Like, it would be stupid to make a position right now, but if you got in early on the breakout, that's awesome. But the same thing, RGTI, what's another one? Isn't D-Wave? What's the, is it QNTM? QBTS, another one. So you don't want to make positions when it's already made the move. You want to be in before the move. So if you're in it, yeah, you ride the trend. But that's very different than making a position now. Just because something looks bullish doesn't mean it's appropriate to make a bullish position. The time to make the position was back in mid-September on all of these, and now you're riding it to the high heavens. So it's amazing, and I missed out on it. But hey, you're going to miss out on a lot of plays in the market, and part of trading is very much having the discipline to just not chase that. To not chase it and just wait. So if you're in it, ride the trend. Ride it. That's 100% what I would be doing. I just missed the entry, so I don't have a position on it, unfortunately. And sometimes that shit's going to happen. The flow went from nicely bullish to kind of bearish, brother. All of a sudden getting clocked at 938. Same thing with the Mag 7. Pretty decent for the first 5 minutes. Just got hit. But remember, there's a lot of time left in the game today. This could easily be a dipped to be bought. Let's just be patient and wait and see how this plays out. Let's go into the individual names. Tesla, strong for the first 4 minutes, got hit, now going flat. NVIDIA popped, now going flat. Palantir popped, now going flat. Microsoft, down. Apple, down. Netflix, down. MicroStrategy, pop, now flat. Meta, going up. Avago, flat, then down. AMD, getting hit, now flat. Robinhood, up and flat. IWM, just kind of flat. I know there's quite a bit of interest in Tesla, so I'll keep checking this one. So hopefully that's enough profit taking there. What it is you had some call selling. I'm assuming it's selling to close. It might technically be selling calls to open. My base assumption, just because of how we've been looking, is some of these people are locking in their profits, but it could be selling to open, but I have a feeling they're selling these calls to close out. So as soon as this profit taking is done, I'm thinking we might have an opportunity to maybe get a little bit of a bounce, which I would be a big fan of personally. The Q's definitely showing a bit of weakness over here. Why is that? Is Microsoft, is NVIDIA? NVIDIA's getting hit, the biggest one. Microsoft doesn't look the best, and Apple's getting hit. When you have Apple, NVIDIA, and Microsoft, especially Apple and NVIDIA looking uniquely weak, and then Microsoft not helping, yeah, that's going to put a lot of downward pressure on the SPY and the Qs, because remember, those three together, the three biggest stocks in the world, have a huge influence on the SPY and the Qs, a huge influence on the SPY and the Qs. So something to consider. Maybe if this hemorrhaging can stop, especially just on these two, we could actually find a bottom here. But in the meantime, the Mag 7's trying to catch itself. The NASDAQ looks drunk, and then the SPY, the Delta is still trending down. So as I let you guys know, I'm looking for that bullish opportunity. I'm looking for buyers to step in somewhere, but I'm not just going to arbitrarily be picking the bottom. I mean, catching a falling knife is a really, really stupid game. So basically, I just have to withstand all this downward pressure and all this pain from surprise, surprise, calls getting sold, puts being bought. The Delta is dropping on both calls and puts. So just need to have a bit of patience, I suppose. Just need to have a wee bit of patience. A wee bit. Let me double check that my trade copier is set up, because I don't know why it didn't trade on that other one. I do not know. Doctor. Why did it not trade? All right, we're about 15 minutes into the day, so we're halfway done with the opening 30-minute Orbo, the opening range breakout, breakdown. Kind of wish I just held that one play. The first play I had, imagine if I just held that, I could be done for the day. I was short right there. I could have just locked in two, held one, and I'd be looking real pretty right now. I'd be up 50 points. I'd be up $1,000. I could call it on the day. Instead, the scalp locked in actually incredibly quickly, which I don't necessarily mind it, because it still did make some... Oh, dude, NVIDIA's looking ugly right now. Apple's like... Yeah, the biggest stock and the third biggest stock are selling off pretty hard right now. And actually now all three are. So that's not the combo you want to see. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 are all looking pretty rough starting about 10-ish minutes into the day, very much dragging the SPY and the Qs with it. Very much dragging those with it. So you got to wait. Trying to pick these bottoms can be extraordinarily difficult. There might be some technical support coming up here on the Qs at 593, but if anything, I'm personally just waiting to see if this Delta ever turns around. If it turns around, okay, I might have an opportunity. But right now, it's just the 0 DTE is showing why it has such an incredible amount of influence. It certainly is. It certainly is. Tesla all-time high soon? I wouldn't say soon. That would have to be like $490. I'm hopeful it can happen, but remember, no one on this planet can tell you if that's going to be happening soon. You know what we could do? I want to see how this really reestablished. Shout out to Spot Gamma, by the way. But let's see how their stuff updated. Let's see how this all updated from last night to today. Extreme flows in quantum tech and ETFs dominate. So that's why you're seeing Rigetti, QBTS, IONQ, all those right here. Quantum surge, IONQ and Rigetti with 199th percentile delta tied to AI news. Small cap pressure, IWM's first percentile indicates heavy bearish positioning. EV, Fed impact, mixed market response to cut rates delivers unusual options activity. So to close, no, I care about opening. So people opened up puts against IWM. bought to open. Oh, wow. People, and then even in October. So people are really betting against the small cap sector right now, and then sell to open. They're selling those puts. That's interesting. Okay, so the major overall market, looking at the SPY, the Qs, and the Russell, the major theme here from yesterday to today is people betting against the small cap sector. And then in terms of individual equities, a lot of positive bets on quantum computing names, IONQ, RGTI, what is it, QBTS. So if you caught those, congrats. But look at this. Holy shit. A lot of people playing RGTI. And they're playing it for a short-dated play as well. Holy crap. I don't know what GLXY is, so if anyone knows that, let me know. Some people are getting into puts, betting against open. That's kind of interesting. So people betting against open, betting on Rigetti RGTI. We might want to watch that. It's tough because like you don't want to chase it. It's already up so much, but it's hard to argue with how much bullishness there is in the options market. All right, that's good to know. So people betting on quantum stocks and betting against the small cap sector. That is basically the TLDR. The TLDR. Fuck, something's going on with my Ninja Trader. Shit. Hang on. Oh, what is happening? Something's happening that I don't quite understand. Okay, I think all the orders, my headphones just went crazy for a second there. Let me cancel all existing orders. There are no live positions and my accounts are good. Okay, so I guess something just went buggy for a second. Like I was getting all these panics. Maybe it was a data disconnect and reconnect right away. I don't know what it was, but it looks as if I'm A-okay. The 150K accounts, as you can see, are all up $300. Except this one is up only 250, and it looks like the new 50K accounts, they just became a pro. So they were eval, now they're pro. Trade one is in the bag for $110. So I like that, catching a little bit of this reversal. Not gonna complain whatsoever. Not gonna complain at all, in fact. All right. Is this the sell-off that I've been waiting to conclude? Mag 7's picking up a little bit. SPY's picking up a little bit. Do I want to add to my Tesla position? Would that be stupid? Probably. Whatever. No one said I was smart. All right. I added a little bit to my Tesla position. I have some Tesla calls. I also have SPY calls. I also have Q calls. I picked them up yesterday and I just added to Tesla. I should have added a little bit more aggressively here, but I wanted to get in some more below 430, and then if we get rejected at 435, I'll just dump it, and then I'm just going to be hopeful for the breakout and the follow through. But today it seems as if the big names can stop puking, right here, NVIDIA was puking, bouncing back. Microsoft was puking, nice bounce back. Apple was puking, and it at least stopped. It's not bouncing back, but it at least stopped. And then bada bing, bada boom, we get a little bit of that recovery. So looking nice. Looking nice. Oh, interesting. Is that something I could do? 18 points. Hang on. I'm thinking of it. My brain is trying to come up with something. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Wait, is that smart? Probably not, you know. Probably not my best idea. Save as template runner. Okay. Save. Okay. I have ideas percolating in the background. I have a couple two-tree ideas percolating for some stuff I could pull off today if we see that setup. But really what I'm waiting for is the 30-minute Orbo, which we have about 6 minutes to go. And then obviously I'm also waiting to see if we can crack the intraday highs and lows. Remember, whatever the new high is on the S&P 500, technically SPX, but today also SPY, that is a new record high. And the same thing can actually be said about the NASDAQ. So here, let's just set these up. You see the highs, you see the lows, you see Tesla picking up a little bit. Apple makes me a bit sad. CoreWeave not doing anything. Hood flat. Dude, I'm so upset. I'm deeply upset about Palantir. And if you're in it, obviously, congratulations. I don't want to take away from you and your success, but it's hard for me to look at it just because it makes me feel like I'm going to go on tilt because like it's just a bad psychology loop where you're like, I'm in it and I unfortunately got wicked out, but then if I just white knuckled it, I'd be up so much money. So like, if you get it, don't let me being bummed out that I fumbled the play take away anything from you and your gains and all your attendees. You deserve it. Seriously, round of applause. You have some balls on you to like hold through what happened yesterday. But hey, sometimes you have to do a little bit of a risky thing to make a little bit of a gain. So seriously, congrats to you. But hard for me to stomach. So it happens. We'll have to create some sort of support group to get through it. Dude, Meta's looking kind of decent. What's going on with Meta? Meta. No, risk is too close. But it's looking good intraday, but the options market, there's resistance right overhead. All right, here's a look at the Mag 7. We did pick up decently, and now we're taking a little bit of a hit, but maybe we could put a higher low in and then just bounce off of that. And that's kind of what I'm also looking for in the SPY is we sold, we bounced, we put in a higher high, and now it's just, can we put in a higher low? That's the structural setup that I'm looking at. So right here, this pump at 951, we took out this recent high. So we're in this weird situation where, okay, we were bearish, lower highs, lower lows, we were selling. And then you have to question, is the trend changing? Well, potentially, because we just got a fresh high. This high here at 951 took out somewhere this high right around 941, 942. So the question is going to be, how deep is this pullback? If the pullback takes out this recent low, not so good, because then clearly we're still in a bearish trend. So the question is, how deep is this going to be? Are we going to find support at the top of the transition zone? Are we going to find support at this open interest level? Obviously, we did not find support at yesterday's high. So another thing you could do, if you want to be bullish, is track this trend line. Obviously, you have a little bit of this downward slope. A break of that would suggest another, from a technical perspective, a charting perspective, a potential trend change. And I want to be clear. I'm not against charting. I'm not against technicals. I'm more of, don't let that be the end-all, be-all tool. I find that the biggest success in trading comes when multiple uncorrelated things align. So if you're getting a nice technical breakout with low risk, and also you're seeing options start to go crazy, and all of a sudden maybe you found support at a key level, well, okay, those are various things. So you have prior support, you have a technical breakout, and you have options agreeing. That's where, I get hesitant when people are exclusively like using one thing. And they're like, nope, I saw this EMA crossover, I'm getting it. It's like, well, okay, it's going to work half the time and it's not going to work half the time. So you have to start to put together a couple other tools. So like, as I'm explaining right here, it's like, okay, potentially a fresh high. Maybe if you want to be really conservative, you're like, well, hey man, this is actually a lower high, but here we might be seeing a higher low. We might be finding support, surprise, surprise, at this key technical level. So right here, it's no surprise that we are reacting to it just because, I mean, you could see it. There's a bunch of people. That's a decent amount of negative gamma. No surprise people are reacting to it. But like I said, if we bounce from here in the short term, for my day traders, for my scalp traders, I'm kind of looking at 6650 as my first target, followed by 65. That's a new position as of today, something to consider. That's a lot of positive gamma. And then the reach target is all the way up here at 6,700. So the thing that should be jumping out to all of us trading the S&P 500 right now is 6650. And the position is, if not, just growing this morning. So It was already important, but there's a very important reason why I mapped that out today. Because if the bulls can get like the momentum going early this morning and we get this trend line breakout, a nice higher high, higher low in the follow through, this is going to be the first battle, in my humble opinion. Am I clairvoyant? No. Am I from the future? No. I can't guarantee shit, but I can tell you at least what I'm looking at. And 50% of the time, I am right 100% of the time. So please do not forget that. Please do not forget that. Where are we at? Are we gearing up for a move here? Oh, I'm back on the wrong contract. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Hang on. I think I figured out. Something's running real slow for me today, and I don't know if it's my system or something's up. Hang on. Hold on to your horses. Wait, that traded, but this didn't. Or this did. Hang on. Everyone calm down. Everyone just freaking calm down. All right. 20. Okay. 20. What's 20 times 3? 60. 60. That puts us down here. That puts us all the way down there. We got up to, we almost hit that. What is the ATR right now? The ATR is 19.8. 19.8. Okay, so I need to see 18. Why? So this locked in at 500. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud, but I keep getting weird messages about like data disconnecting and then reconnecting. Interesting. All right, well, it seems as if this is all closed out. No, but those are all the take profits. Okay, that's fine. Those are all the take profits. That is fine. Okay, I'm hoping we don't get rejected here at 700. These have locked in. There's no live position 500, but these are up 100, but with a live position. I did a 1 ATR movement price target. It's unfortunate that it's coming at this key level, but hey, sometimes you got to be 10 toes in. Sometimes you just have to be 10 toes in. Tesla's doing its thing. Meta's doing its thing. CoreWeave's going down. Hood's picking up. Palantir's picking up. These are looking really good. SPY's at a new all-time high. We got that trend line breakout. I told you this is my target from here. Obviously, it could be a fake out breakout. So the entry was back here at 57, 58, probably at 58, risking this recent low. You're praying for the breakout, the follow through. At this point, I'd be putting my stop to break even if I played that breakout at 58. First target here is at 6650. So at this point, stop is already at break even, and you're riding it up for your first price target where you would try to scale out a bit. That's how I would play it if I were directly playing it. I'm personally playing it through NQ instead. And what I'm trying to do is lock in a 1 ATR unit profit right here. And then when I do that, I'm moving my stop to break even. And if I could catch a runner, I could catch a runner. And I could be a little bit more loosey-goosey on take profit because there's no consistency. Lock it in. Lock it in. Come on, motherfucker. Don't do this to me. Not on the day of my daughter's wedding. Don't do this to me.
Order
There
filled.
we go. America.
Order canceled.
All right, that's it. That's all she wrote. It's a free play now. I locked in 472. I have another 400 riding. It might be worth 0 if there's a pullback right here. Unfortunately, because my stop's at break even, it is slightly above where this is. So that could hit into my unrealized high. But on the off chance that I am a sorcerer stone fisherman and this actually rides today, basically the odds of me getting clipped are very high, probably around 70% of a bit of a pullback. Pretty freaking high. But if I happen to be a lucky goose in that 30% camp and then this is just a runner, good. Sick. So I don't like it, and it sucks when I get stopped out for break even. Obviously, it very much sucks. But if your boy's a lucky goose, if your boy is one lucky goose, I might be able to ride this. And like I said, three out of 10 times I'll be able to ride it. 7 out of 10 times I'll say, shucks, I got stopped out. You know, it just is what it is. It is what it is, but honestly, a pretty solid start for these accounts. This is day 1, and I already have 472 locked in with a potential, if I get out right now, about $1,000. Just made 200K off of Tesla options. Wow. That's something there, brother. That is something. Jesus Louises. That 200K. What's it like having a nutsack the size of the Grand Canyon? Like, that has to be, like, do you have an issue finding pants that fit? Like, what's that like? Do you have issues flying? Like, does TSA give you an issue? And also, what's like the density of those things? It feels like you have just diamond nuts. I have more questions than I do have answers, and that's because I have literally no answers for you. No answers. That's just impressive. That is just, it is something. It is absolutely, like, what's it like, you know? What is it like? Spy is going, Qs are going. All right, I have to probably properly manage this bad mamma jamma, but I can't do it yet. I can't. What time is it? It's 10:05. 10:05. So phase 2 of Icarus will turn on at 10 a.m. All right. I should probably follow this because the drawdown is based on your unrealized high. I don't want to. If I were trading my own account, I would leave this at break even for like pretty much all day. And if it gets hit, it gets hit. If I can ride it to the end of the day, big money comes from riding big trends. If I were trading my own account, as in I didn't have to worry about the unrealized drawdown, I'd have this stop at break even. I would go on the stair stepper and watch something and forget about it. But because it does have an unrealized drawdown, I have to manage it in a way that I'm not necessarily the most fond of, but hey, it's the rules of the road, and if you don't like it, don't use it. But I guess I'm just thinking out loud and like trying to explain to all of you the difference of how I would handle this, but this is fucking going. Wait, can someone confirm that there is no consistency rule on Take Profit Pro before I do this? Because if there is, I might have screwed myself. Does anyone know? Anyone know? Anyone whatsoever? I know there's a consistency rule on PA Apex. There's no consistent. Am I screwing myself right now? Correct. Okay, so I am fine. So I'm not screwing myself. So I could let it run, but I have to kind of be hopeful that there's not some extreme drawback, which I don't know. That's a nice gain already. These are pro accounts, as in if it goes well, I can take money out. Like, they're already pro. And I'm up 1.3. 1.3. Remember, if you want a take profit account, code Goonie, 40% off, no activation fee. And on Apex, I use both of them, 80% off the evals, but there's still the activation fee. But right here, I trade Apex. Those are my big accounts. I trade Take Profit. Those are my smaller accounts. I also have some Tradeify accounts, but they just happen to not be the partner of today's stream. So if you want to trade with someone else's money, use Apex, use Take Profit, use Tradeify. The key thing is to get a fat discount. Pretty much my code is always going to be Goonie if you are into that sort of a thing. With respect to, ooh, brother, who caught a bid? Tesla's catching a bid in real time. NVIDIA, that dirty dog, dirty dog. NVIDIA caught a bid. Fucking Palantir. Fuck it. I don't know. I don't want to sound negative. I'm upset because I missed it and I fumbled the play. I was on the fucking 2-yard line and I somehow put my nutsack into a toaster instead of scoring a touchdown. So I'm frustrated at me. I'm not frustrated at Palantir. And if you made money on Palantir, congrats to you. But instead of scoring an easy 6 points, I ended up fucking air frying my own nutsack for no reason. It's just frustration at me. Just, if you did it, you deserve the money. Congrats. Ride the trend. But for me, I don't know. I wake up and there's certain times where my wife is still asleep. My lead investment officer, my cat, Piper, is still asleep. And I have a little bit of time to reflect. And every so often, I would say every week, every month, I have somewhat of an internal dialogue. I get deep into the world of pontification. And I think, you know, Matt, out of all of your days, all of your actions, you've probably already hit peak retardation. As in, like, the bottom is it. You've hit like the most extreme cognitive decline you could possibly do. And
Order submitted.
See, right? What the fuck is going on, brother? I don't know. Anyway, deep into my pontification, I think it can't get worse. You've peaked out in retardation. You've hit your bottom. It's only going to improve. And then, sure as fuck, I do something that lets me actually know that I've not hit the mountaintop. That, in fact, there is more retarded behavior to behold. And I just keep clocking new records. And, like, unfortunately, like, I get stoked about making new records, whether I'm stair-stepping, catching shrimp on old school RuneScape. But unfortunately, the only record I seem to be perpetually hitting time and time again is the fact that I'm just dumber than the day I was before. And, like, what's crazy about it is, like, I literally hit record levels. I'm like, all right, that's it. There's no way you're 99 out of 99. You can't make it any worse, brother. And then, fuck, there I go doing it. And it's just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Now what? You guys are yelling at me to do shit. You think this is going to come and get me? Obviously, I am somewhat interested in this level at 33, but what if it wicks me out and then keeps going, you know? I know I see many of you yelling at me to move my stop, but what if it wicks me out, you know? What if I have 100 bagger on the line right now and you guys are telling me to, like, cut bait? What if this is a prize great white shark that I have on the line and you guys are like, maybe be careful about that. Maybe be careful about that. I'm hoping we don't get rejected here at 50. I'm hoping we can find some support. I don't know. Try putting your nutsack in a toaster. Every day. 10 toes in. Every day. Every day. Palantir, motherfucker. It's breaking out too at 175. Oh, it hurts me. It hurts so bad. I could have had money. I could have paid for my daughter's wedding. We're coming up to my target, folks. We're coming up to my target. Am I up money right now? I should check my accounts. I forgot I have a swing account. All right, not bad. 20K gain. Looks like I'm up 10K, 8.7K, and then 2.8K. So 18. I'm up about $20,000, hence the $20,000. That's not a bad deal. Today, yeah, pretty much my 1 day return is affected. I'm up a little bit more unrealized versus my 1 day return, but as you can see, I have Q calls, SPY calls, and Tesla calls. Hang on, let me switch this up. I actually, just to be honest, fuck. Is this coming down? Lower right. Wait, you guys can't see what I'm doing? Or you can see what I'm doing? Why is my screen looking the way that it is? Why is it all blue? All right, hang on. I'm putting in my trading password so you guys don't cheat. I did want to let you know that I am double dipping currently. Open, days, total. I decided to double dip. I know it's small text, but you could probably see it says 17,000 there. So I have some XPX calls, which basically is the same play as this SPY position. This one's a little bit smaller in terms of its initial investment, 16K, while this one is more. It's 27. Well, that's why I'm up more, but it's the same play basically. I just double dipped going long on the S&P 500. So I'm not going to complain. 10, 20K there, and then another 17K there. That's about 38K. Not going to complain. All right. I really need to decide if my stop should be, it probably should be moved. You know what's going to happen? Is it's going to wick me out and then it's going to rip. It's foretold in the skies. But right now, even what's my drawdown? The drawdown is 67 to 42. So that's 20. So I'm already losing my buffer already by 500 points if this gets hit. Dude, playing this game of the buffer, I hate it. I think that is one of the biggest drawdowns of sim-to-funded trading is the fact that most of the firms measure it off of your unrealized high. And they're doing that because they know it increases your chances of blowing out. And it's part of the game. It's not like you're going to sit there and run the odds of blackjack at the casino and complain, hang on, you have a 1% edge. That's not fair. It's the same shit here. But it's up to you to play the game. You don't have to. No one's forcing you to do it. It is frustrating that while you're first building out the buffer, you have to probably trade in a way that you shouldn't be trading. Had I already had a large buffer, yeah, I'd leave the stop at break even, or I would trail it by like the 30-minute bar or something like that, or like a 3 ATR trailing stop. I'd be using something wider because when you're this close, your odds of getting clipped are high. It's not a guarantee, and hey, maybe it works out for you, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but what I can tell you, spam risk, is that I don't know. What I'm really trying to do is see this. I told you, this is my level. I'm going to set an alert because your boy might need to take some profits at this level. That's my first major target of the day where I think it's reasonable to scale out some if you have a large position. I'm also a little bit worried about 6660, but let's see how that's changed throughout the day. Where are we at? Enhance. All right, so these positions have changed. 665. I do decree I'm moving this up 5 points. An official Matt Kohrs proclamation. I am moving one of my key levels on the day based on the fact that this has shifted throughout the day. 50, 60. I do decree. Let all the peasants of the land know. 6650. 6665 is my next target. Target number 1, right here. 6650. We're almost there. Target number 2, 6665. I do decree And then my reach target is 6,700. I do decree. Fucking Palantir. That's going to make me cry. Hell yeah, dude. Your boy's making some tendies. Your boy's making some tendies. I don't know why these aren't trading, but I suppose it is what it is. But I am this is day one of these accounts. We're looking a pretty. We are looking a pretty. Should I just keep trailing it hardcore? I know I have to. I don't like trading this way. If it were up to me, the stop would be at break even. I would leave it there until we hit 6,700 if that happens today, and then I would take my profits at that point. But no, I have to worry about my unrealized drawdown. I don't know. I know this is how I have to do it. It's a little frustrating if I'm being honest. It's a little frustrating. Dude, how's this? Dude, just a fucking skyrocket up. Not a bad day to be me. Not a bad day whatsoever there, Tonto. I really want to see Tesla get going. We got a nice 30-minute breakout. Piper also is about to... Did it fire? It didn't fire. All right, where are you at? Where are you at, Pippa? Where are you at, Pippa? Where are you at? What is today? The 18th. All day, all day, all day. All day, all day. All day, all day. All day, all day. All right, if you're in the Discord, that's up there. Bitcoin. Dude, Bitcoin's another one. I got stopped out yesterday for no fucking good reason. Bitcoin and Palantir, I had to play. I was on the right side. It's just unfortunately my wrist got hit. Wait, alert. Target one hit, sire. We hit target number one. Direct hit. Direct fucking hit, team. Direct hit. Not a bad deal. Oh, look at these gains. Folks, that's got to make you feel some sort of way. It has to, like, the fact that I, a human who is dumber than you are, is making more money than you, that can't make you feel good. You're gonna be like, this dipshit made money. How is this dipshit making money? That's not fair. It's not fair. Life's not fair. Life's actually kind of uniquely unfair sometimes. How fucking long? Yo, can I ride this for 100 points? You think I could get a 100-point bagger on the show today? You think I should try to get out at 800, 799.75? It's only right here. I'm more than 3/4 of the way to 100 bagger. At this point, that just seems like it's meant to be, you know? Feels like it's meant to be. Come on. Do I hear 800? Do I hear 800? I am a little worried because I'm not going to be surprised if there's profit taking right here. Hence why we call it out, because this could be the high of the day. It easily could be the rejection. Obviously, if we follow through, which is not a guarantee, I'm looking at 6665 followed by 6,700. But we are right here, and you already see some people taking profits. You're seeing profit taking there. You're seeing profit taking there. These were long calls. People went from out of the money to in the money, and they took profits. It's not a surprise. No one should be shocked by that. And unfortunately, it's going to eat into my unrealized drawdown by $600 unless I have a miraculous bounce here. Come on. $600, that's not the easiest to deal with. That's over 1/5 of my drawdown. 1/5 of my drawdown. It's gonna fucking hit it. I fucking hate this unrealized drawdown bullshit. Oh, whatever. A win's a win. Maybe I'll get lucky. Come on, save it. Good guys make money. Good people make good money. Come on. Just hold it. Don't make a fresh low. Just bounce. Bounce. NQZ. Subscribe. Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. ESZ. Subscribe. All right, let's see where all these orders are. I'm just ripping it now. I'm going for pure luck, folks, and it's not looking like I'm gonna be the most lucky. Not looking like I'm gonna be the most lucky. Fuck. It's like, right, like which way is it going to break? Are we taking out 66 or are we going through 54? How lucky can I possibly be today? Come on. Oh, we're pushing 66. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Come on. Keep her going. Keep her going.
Order submitted.
Icarus just went long.
Order filled.
Icarus just locked in 652. Dude, am I just that lucky? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right, I keep following it up. I'm almost up 100 points. Look at this. 2K, 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 all on a pro account. Like, we're talking about real dollar bills, folks. Not those fake dollar bills, but real ones. Spy keeps going. All right, we're back at this 50. Like I said, all right, I'll set an alert there. And then also let's set a breakdown alert because that would be violating the most recent low. You never know how much the trend is going to trend. Like, I think there's a lot of people who try to, in the world of retail trading, try to pitch you bullshit. You have to be very cognizant of what you don't know. And one of the things you don't know is what the trend's going to be and how good the trend's going to be. So with that in mind, you do your best. You ride the trend as long as you think the trend's intact. Are you defining trend by RSI, by stochastics, by MACD, by EMAs? However you define it, you stick in as long as you think it's present. I find a lot of people in the retail world, they trade their account numbers. Is it up or down? And I got to get in and or out for that. No, that's not how you make money. If you catch the trend, you gotta ride it and ride it and ride it because you're relying on that to pay off your losers. And then obviously if you have a loser, you cut it quick because you don't want your losers. It's all about unit sizing and also a deep understanding of what you don't know. And what you don't know is what the next bar is gonna be. Just that. That's easy. I don't know. I'm riding the trend as much as I can. 12K, 12K, 3K. That's a 25K day right there. Almost a 30K day right there. That's not bad. And then, like I said, I am also double dipping another 23K over there. So we're almost at a 50K day. It's not bad. I don't know where the trend's going, folks. It could get rejected right here and I could get fucked and I could get embarrassed. Ideally, I'd cut it if we take out this low, but maybe the trend goes up here. Maybe the trend goes up here. Maybe the trend goes up there. So I'm trying to keep skin in the game for as long as we are trending, but then also I'm attempting to be disciplined enough that if the trend breaks down, I take my money and move on with my life. Like, I think there's too many people who, like, they almost like are cosplaying as borderline mystics of like, it's going to go to this level. It's going to bounce here. It's going to get rejected there. No, there's price levels of interest that you might want to be like, oh, that's like interesting. I should pay attention to that. And then from there, you just like see how it plays out. It's a game of reaction, not prediction. Oh, that's a wide differential. I don't like how big that's. I need to trail it a little bit more aggressively. That's a big one, 50 to 80. I mean, that's over 35 points. That's $700 of potential drawdown, especially with the fact that there's a good chance we're probably going to have people reacting to 800. Yeah, look at all those people trying to sell at 800. Look at all those dirty scoundrels. All right, so what we're going to do is when we get up to like 93, 94, 95, I'm going to trail it aggressively just in case there's a rejection right there. There is already a lot of people lining up, sitting passive sell orders at 24,800. I'm a wee bit worried about that. A wee bit worried because it might be fine for the day of like, oh, okay. But like for me with the unrealized drawdown, a 20, 30 point hit would actually be a lot and do a lot of damage to my account. So I can't really risk that. So I want to leave some skin in the game. I might just move it up to 77 because that's 23 points. That's $500. It's something I could deal with. At this point, I'm almost outside of the buffer range anyway. So that might be the play for me. It's a little bit too close for my liking, to be honest, especially knowing we're coming up to this key level. I'm not the biggest fan of the play, but I think given the current dynamic, it's the smart thing to do. I really do. I don't know if I have another option in all reality. Yeah. If it gets smacked there, I'm screwed. But I can't risk it getting smacked there and coming all the way down because it's just going to do too much damage to my unrealized high. It'll just do too much damage. Sometimes life be like that. Sometimes life be like that. All right, my next level on SPX is 6665. 666665. I don't know why, but I have a double Palantir. Tesla picking up. I would love to hear this alert go off at 431.55. That would make me as giddy as a schoolgirl. And I would not be happy if I hear the 426 alert go off. Hood is looking decent. CoreWeave, no. Tesla, yes. Palantir, yes. NVIDIA is going, folks. NVIDIA is waking up. All right. How are we doing at the... Oh, we got above 800. Whoa. Tonto. We took him out. We killed him. We... Snap. That's what happened to all the people selling right there. They just got murked in real time. You guys all saw bloodshed. That was brutal. Nothing. They didn't even stand a chance. It was coming back to my metaphor of the schoolgirl. It was like an assassin just broke its neck. Look at that. Gandalf very much let them pass. There's no other metaphor that would be accurate right there. But even that, on such a rip, it's like, where do you put your risk now? Where do you put your risk? Where do we put... It's always the game of what is your risk. I could use 86, the 10-minute low, which is a random ass level, but it's not even really apparent on this chart. But the 10-minute low is 86, so I could move it and just pray that 800 holds. I can't keep trailing it by this margin. But every time I trail it aggressively, it's a higher chance of it getting a fill. I don't like it. I don't like it. Eventually, my luck is going to run out. I can't keep following it this aggressively and be betting on no pullback whatsoever. Eventually, you just keep doing it, and you're gonna find the pullback. So I'm trying to give it a little bit of room, but I just can't give it that much room. But what is nice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm up 12K. Well, it was up 12K. Is this coming for me? Come on. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't have an option. That's too big of a... That's a $500 differential. It's just eating into my risk. I have to stay this aggressive, unfortunately. If the account were larger and I didn't have to worry about the unrealized drawdown, I'd be playing this differently. In all reality, I'd actually probably be using this risk here at 1023 just to explain my thoughts in real time. But the fact is, I have to consider this unrealized. I have to. It's about to get it. It's about to get it. It's coming for me.
Order filled.
Yep. Tagged me out. All right. 2K locked in on all 5 accounts. I made just over 10K. In all reality, I think I maxed the buffer at 52.5 or 52.6. So like I didn't eat into it that bad. A couple scalp trades will get me right back to where it is. So I just, once again, you have to admit what you know, what you don't know. And I don't know if this keeps dipping, just that delta is going to grow and grow and grow between my unrealized high and my realized high. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It might swing back around, might vomit. I don't know, but I do like that Icarus on the big accounts locked in 660, 650 on all of them. And then obviously I had a little bit of a trend following. Icarus started the trade. I turned it into a manual trend following trade and locked in 2K. So not bad at all. Obviously the trade itself was just under 100 points, but then considering the other trades this morning, that's how I'm up over 100 points of profit. Can you explain how the unrealized drawdown from the buffer works? Yeah, it's just your drawdown isn't measured from your realized profit high. It's measured from your best, your unrealized high, which might equal your realized high. But if you go up 2K and then pull back and you take your profit at 1K, your drawdown isn't measured from 1K. It's measured from where you were at your best, as if you got out at the exact perfect level, which would have been 2K. So the drawdown is measured off of your unrealized high, not your realized high. So that's why this right now, my drawdown is being measured off of where we were at 1031.22, because that was like theoretically where I could have gotten out for maximal profit. Obviously I got out here, so I'm now, this difference right here, this delta from 1031 to whatever time it is now, 1035, I'm missing that much in my buffer at this point. But that's all well defined and described in their FAQs and whatnot. And it sucks. It's like something you have to be mindful of, obviously. It's not ideal by any means, but it's part of the game. And it's just, I guess I call it out because I want you guys to be mindful of it. A lot of people, that's probably the most common. Is that just Apex, or do other firms do this? Almost all of them do it. I don't know of one that does it off of your realized high. There might be a couple guys trying to do it, but no, they do that rule because it's difficult to handle, and they like things that are difficult to handle because that increases the chances of you blowing out, and they want you to blow out because that's how they make money. In sim-to-funded, I want to be clear, I like sim-to-funded trading. I think it's a perfect transitional tool from trading not real money, paper trading, like no risk, no reward, to your own funded account. I think it's a perfect transitional tool where you have a little bit of risk, you have a little bit of potential for reward, you're learning out the mechanics of trading. I actually really like it because of the strict rules. It makes you be disciplined and follow a set of rules. And I find that a lot of retail trading has no rules whatsoever. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. I think the downside is, that is one of them. And I think some of the rules, such as the unrealized drawdown, are rules that actually enforce bad habits, and you wouldn't want that in trading your own account. So in this world, generically, I like it, but I'll be the first to tell you it is not perfect. There are positive aspects, there are good pros, and then there's also negative aspects. There are clearly cons. And just because there are cons, nothing in this world is perfect. So just because I'm admitting there's cons, that doesn't mean I'm against it. It just means you have to know what they are and balance out the pros and cons accordingly and see if it's appropriate for you. So I still like it. I mean, this year, I've been paid out over $200,000 from trading in these. But once again, you have to be mindful of the fact that, I don't know, should retail be day trading? Retail traders, most day traders don't make money. That's something to consider. The unrealized drawdown, that's sketchy. It's not true for all firms, but most firms do have that rule. Daily loss limits, I think, are extremely predatory. But on the flip side, for not much of an investment on your part, you can get access to a lot of capital, and the scalability of this world is like second to none. So it's just, there are clear and evident glaring pros, and there are clear and evident glaring cons. And you just have to be mindful of both of them. Top Step. Yeah, but Top Step has a daily loss limit, which is predatory unless you use their own platform. And I think their platform is dog shit. So I hope they can improve it. But as things currently stand, once again, there's always pros and cons. Always pros and cons. Matt, you were good on the buffer. Your drawdown was 50K is 2K. I thought the buffer was 2.5. Is that what it is on Apex? Honestly, in my own brain, it's hard to keep them all straight because like I've had accounts on probably close to 10 of these different SIMDA funded firms at this point, and all the rules get jumbled in my mind at a certain point. It is 2K, so I'm over the buffer. But also, what's it? When can you take money at 2,100? Is that like the minimum, or do you have to take out $500? Yep, TPT, same. Once in a pro account, the trading drawdown is calculated intraday based on your unrealized gains, which includes realized and unrealized gains. Well, you don't add them together. That's a poor way to explain it. It's within your unrealized gains, count your realized. You don't add them together. That's a very poor way to explain it, Luke. Your peak balance, which includes realized and unrealized. That sounds like you're adding them together. No, it's just based off your unrealized. And your realized at max is your unrealized, but most of the time it's some smaller portion of your unrealized. Your realized gains live within your unrealized. At best, your realized is your unrealized. Most of the time, your realized is slightly less than your unrealized. How about Trade Funder? Never heard of her. Yeah, Apex is 2.5 and TPT is 2. Okay, sorry. Like I said, my mind is jumbled because not only do I have all these firms, but then I have different account sizes and all these other rules. So like sometimes I get a little confused here and there of like what is what and who is who. But I appreciate that clarification. TPT 52K, Apex 2.5. Sorry, I just copy and pasted from Take Profit Trader. Well, maybe you shouldn't just arbitrarily copy and paste. That doesn't, coming back to how we started off the show of maybe more critical thought here. What's a good stock prop firm? The best one, in my opinion, is Vanquish. So obviously Apex, Take Profit Trader, Tradeify, they're all futures trading. And the one that I found for stocks and options that I really enjoy is Vanquish. That's also in the description of the video if you need help finding the link or something like that. But for stocks and options, I like Vanquish the best. I think they have the best rules, the best setup. And it does use a different platform. A lot of these future ones use NinjaTrader. I just want to call out that Vanquish, what's it called? DX Trades or something like that is the name of their platform. Tesla, all right, a little bit of a pullback, first pullback really of the day besides like the market open profit taking. Palantir's chilling a little bit. Mag 7 is chilling, a little profit taking. SPY, a clear amount of profit taking starting at 10:31. So we got an hour into the day, and that's when people decided to start taking their profits. Maybe a reversal incoming here. This is on NQ, the December contract. A little bit of a higher low. We pop, we pull back, clear profit taking. Are we setting up for round 2? Are we setting up for round 2? Are we setting up for round 2? Oh Oh, brother. Maybe not. I don't know. We're watching this. It depends on how much profit taking there is on top of will bulls step back in. So the SPY, nice rip, literally up till 10:30, technically 10:31. Bit of profit taking. Same thing on the Mag 7. Mag 7 is starting to show a little bit of life here, though. That might get interesting. That might be, hey, we had a big pump. This was NVIDIA, by the way. This is the Mag 7 is the combo of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. But this pop was very specific to NVIDIA. And because obviously that's captured within the Mag 7, you're going to see it here. But that was a nice pop in NVIDIA. Mag 7 is starting to show a little bit of life here, folks. Mag 7 is starting to show a little bit of life. Tesla, interesting. Interessante. Where are we at on? Okay, so unfortunately, the S&P 500 is not showing the structure that I love. I don't mind the overshoot of 6650. I wanted this higher low and this bounce. Cool, easy to work with, great, awesome. But the fact that we just took out this low, maybe it's a little bit of a fake out, a little bit of a liquidity sweep, like a lot of sitting buy orders, and they knock these stops out, buy orders come in, and we pop it, and great, whatever. That's awesome. That's not bad of a play. But as of right now, if this doesn't start to catch a bid soon, we have this low, we have another low from 1012. I don't like, we just haven't seen a follow through. The profit taking is continuing. You could see it very evidently starting at 1031. Some calls are getting sold and it's actually speeding up right now, but if anything, you actually have people reverting it, buying 0 DTE puts. So it's not, I actually am a little surprised. I thought it would be more profit taking, but it's a little profit taking, but it's more so of these puts. It's more so of these puts. I mean, we went from positive 300 million down to minus 800. That's a swing of 1.1 billion in delta notional value on the 0 DTE put within 15 minutes. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Well, the calls maybe have stabilized. A little bit of a pullback. I know when you're zoomed in, it can seem a little bit more frightening. NVIDIA is also getting a bit hit. Actually, everything's getting... Apple's fine. AMD's fine. Broadcom got hit. Meta. Oracle's coming back up. Apple's actually pretty stable in all this. Bitcoin's looking good too. It's at 118. Hopefully this is just a little 10-minute pullback. I know when you're zoomed in, such as this, it looks extreme. But remember, when in doubt, zoom out. Check multiple time frames. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback, but look at the rip we've already been on today. So I think sometimes that can get in people's heads. And I understand it. We've all been there. We've all definitely been there. But what I'm liking here is this actually could be a beautiful support setup. Right here, we're bouncing off of the pre-market high. So basically we started all the way down here, pre-market high, we hit that at 825. We push above it, we pull back. If we can make a nice higher low here, that's a good risk point to have. And then maybe we get that follow through. So this actually might be setting up in a kind of a helpful way if we can get the follow through. That's the big if. It's a giant if then statement. I mean, the delta flow just hit a high. I have an alert going off. Oh, something happened. Something triggered Icarus. What the fuck? Icarus just got like the worst fill ever on that wick. It should have been in at 71 on the recapture of these EMAs right here. There's first close. And instead it got a 6-point slippage on 3 contracts. What the fuck? Well, that's less than ideal. A 6-point slippage. It should have been long at 71, maybe a point of slippage, 72, something like that. And instead, it got it at the top of the wick. That's brutal. That's fucking brutal. Well, fuck. 6 point. I mean, because if it got the fill at 71, 72, it would have filled within that wick as well. Well, that's a bit frustrating to say the least. I guess that's trading for you. I guess that is trading. What time is it? 10:48. Oddly enough, I think another part of Icarus is going to fire if we take out that high. So that's a little bit confusing as well. That's a little confusing. A wee bit. 10:49. 10:49. What is the high? How high did we get up here? Well, we're going to see how this one plays out. I need this trend to very much stop. I need this to not be a double top rejection. Obviously, we pumped, we pulled back. Icarus tried to wait for the dip and then go long again, minimizing risk. Unfortunately, the slippage, it should have already been locked in. So, I mean, when I backtest this, backtesting is always like theoretically perfect, as in there's like not really slippage or wicks like this and this horrific of fills. Of course, you could build in slippage, but when you do it, you tend to do it to like a point or two. So even with that, this would have already been counted as a win. So this is one of those things where there is a chance that theory will, I guess, take a different path, if you will, than actual trades and actual executions, which is going to be such a pain in the butt. No. Well, as long as this low holds at 51, I think I have a fighting chance, but this just bums me out. Bums me out. Tesla picking up. Well, I like to hear that. All right, that's a good call. Just say the things that make me feel better about my life and happier, and not the fact that this is about to get fucking clipped. Son of a bitch. Yeah, Tesla made that new high. Hell yeah. All right, let's move this risk to the recent low. Bitcoin's looking good. NVIDIA, baby. If NVIDIA can pick up, I might have a fighting shot on the Qs. NVIDIA has the most influence. Microsoft, Apple. Okay. All right, if NVIDIA can just pop this 175.50 level, I have a shot. Unfortunately, the S&P 500 is still getting a turn in its delta. We saw a little bit of an uptick, another little bit of an uptick, but overall still trending down. The Mag 7, a slightly different story. It actually just popped right now to a new high, but a little bit of a breather. Little bit of a breather. Come on, NVIDIA, show us the promised land. Show us the promised land. Ooh, that's not making me feel so good. Fuck. Right here, it got tricked. Yeah, it took out these highs right there. Red, 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 took out the highs, identified it as a potential higher low, took a stab at it. Should have actually theoretically worked, and instead got clipped. Fuck, dude. And it's just because of what we see in the SPY. It's just these puts. It's not even, I can't even complain about profit taking. Yeah, granted, it's a little bit of profit taking, but ever since 1031, the 0DT put delta is dropping, as in people are buying puts. They might be buying to open, they might be buying to close. I don't know, but I could tell you that they are buying puts. And that is putting some downward pressure, because as the delta drops, obviously there's implications for the market makers, and those implications basically force them to short in one way or another. Fuck. Yeah, it's this. This is what's fucking me up right now. It's this light blue line. these 0 DTE put buyers. Once again, you don't know until the end of the day and the data settles if they were buying to open or buying to close. But what I can tell you is that they are buying puts, and they are doing so at a pretty solid fucking rate. Jesus. We've gone from 56 all the way down to 37, and we're just undoing this whole zone. Fuck. We took out that low. We took out that low. I need like one of those like just arbitrary turnarounds where you're like, why did it turn there for no good reason? That's kind of unfortunately the point that I'm at, that I would love to take out 46, take out 50, and then obviously take out 56, which is the intraday high and the current all-time high. But I would love a recapture of 50, just a key level. And then really I'm looking for a test of 6665. That's my main target of the day, with my reach target being 6,700. Yeah, that's not so good. This was expected a little bit more of an overshoot than I wanted. I wanted this right here between 1039 and 1043 to hold. I was like, great, higher low, we'll recapture and we'll keep going. All right, it pukes to the 50 EMA, not so bad. Maybe we consolidate here and pop. But this feels like a little bit of a dagger situation, if you will. A little bit of a dagger situation at 1050. The fact that it couldn't hold this consolidation. We snapped the 50 EMA. There's not much support in sight. And the delta just keeps dropping. The Mag 7's making me a little hopeful. It's refusing to sell off. But the 0 DT on SPX is dragging shit down, folks. It's dragging shit down. So Mag 7... once again, the combo of these 7 names is giving me hope. But looking at the flow on the SPY, it's just those puts need to stop being purchased. They need to stop being purchased, team. What time is it? 55. 55, 55, 55. Damn. Maybe it's a buy program, a put buy program that turns off at 11. I mean, at this point, I'm just reaching. I'm looking at all the internal data I have over on this other monitor, and I'm now at the point of hopium. At the point of fucking hopium. However, on the flip side, if you fortunately did not get caught up in this mess, you could watch a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit easier to see over here. You could probably watch something like that, this downsloping trend line, because we are at the pre-market high. So this might be tech in the larger NASDAQ. So recapture 62 is interesting, and you're looking for a breakout of this downsloping trend line. Your risk would be the recent low. If you are bullish, if you think the flow is looking good, if you like the risk reward, if you see the SPY stopping like its puke sesh, that might be a good opportunity. Little trend line breakout. You watch the bullishness, you waited for the short-term pullback, you're identifying a low risk, high reward opportunity, your entry is around 70, your first target is 40 points higher, and your risk is about 25 points below. So it's a big if-then statement. If we break and hold, there's your risk, there's your first reward, and then ideally from there you have a runner. But as much as we were about to get going, we're getting a little bit clocked right now, unfortunately. So this is what I would be watching if I were on NQ, but it is not. It's going the way of the SPY where it just can't find its footing. Mag 7 looks fine. NASDAQ looks drunk. The SPY just keeps trending down. It's just, if you're looking for a bullish opportunity, in my own opinion, you can't really do anything until you see this vomiting stop. This delta has to stop going down and down and down and down. And as of this exact moment, every single time, oh, looks like a breather. Nope. Looks like a breather. Nope. Looks like a breather. Maybe, but the last 2 times haven't been so good. And also we're getting a little bit closer to the like choppy bullshit lunchtime. So just please be mindful of that as well. Oh, fuck. It's just not catching its footing. God damn it. Which, just because it's not right now doesn't mean that in an hour it can't be exploding. I'm literally just commenting on like what we are seeing in real time, and Obviously, it just takes one big buyer to step in and turn this around. Or the person who's selling, as soon as they're done getting their positions, then it could be over. So this stuff, it can very much change on a dime. And obviously, that's just going to be the nature of when you're day trading and scalp trading. Like when you're looking at such a small time frame, well, surprise, surprise, that's how long it takes things to change. Not much. Not much. What are my upside levels on Tesla? I've already been over that extensively. Just rewind earlier to the video. You could see the gamma structure breakdown. Dude, this is getting fucking clocked right now. Clocked right now. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. I don't know. The only thing giving me hope is the fact that the Mag 7, people are not getting out of those. That delta is remaining strong. I would be very much panicking if I saw a vomit here. But what I hate is the fact that the SPY is now giving back maybe more than even 50% of this delta push. We had a beautiful push from 956 to 1031. Big buy program leading into a pretty sizable, healthy sell program. And this, you could see, not only is price given back about half of its range, but we're given back about half the delta as well. Half the delta as well. Tesla's chilling, 430. I like that. NVIDIA's chilling. I would love for it to push 176 to give the Nasdaq a fighting chance and maybe kind of jumpstart the SPY here, but patience play. Dude, it just keeps getting fucking hit. Maybe. I mean, I'm probably seeing things that aren't there. I see price keeps going down, but the delta maybe is flattening out starting at 1055. So for the past 5 minutes, it looks a little bit flatter, but also in one trade, the delta could pop. It could also simultaneously drop. But we're not quite going at this velocity that we've already been seeing. Looks a little bit flatter as we're about to turn the hour. Are you still on AVGO? Dude, I've been out of that for many trading sessions at this point. You are so far behind, like almost concerningly so. Almost concerningly so. My question is, do I try to dip by here? 5 minute in danger of cracking, 10 minute in danger of cracking, 30-minute bullish, 4 hours still bullish. 5 minute bullish, 10 minute bullish, 30-minute bullish, 4 hour bullish. All right, I'm setting up some alerts. So yeah, I don't like how steep this is. Huge pop, loved it. Pulling back, and this could still be a healthy pullback because we did pop quite a bit. So I don't think I'm like 100% guaranteed to be screwed. Hang on. Are we about to get that trend line breakout? Almost. I'm watching this trend line right here. The high at 1036 connected to the high at 1047. We're also recapturing the pre-market high. This also could be resistance. Please pay attention. So looking for that pop and that hold. Unfortunately, your risk is a bit wide, so you either have to skip it or really size down. I mean, that's going to be some serious risk if your last low is 40 points off. So obviously play it if you like it, but I am not your mom. NVIDIA. Okay, it seems like that bid in NVIDIA is kind of helping this trend line breakout in the NASDAQ. But we really just need this SPY to stabilize. Specifically, a nice technical win. We start off by getting above 40. 46 is nice, but the real win is getting above and holding above 6650 due to the gamma structure of the day. So win number one is right now at 40. Win number two is at 46. And then the real win is above 50. And then that sets up a shot at 6665. So 1, 2, 3 in that order. NASDAQ might be leading the way. It's about to get its own technical breakout. Once again, that is a wide risk, but hey, if you're fine with accepting wide risk, have at it. What the fuck? Mine actually is, I think, gonna trigger. I'm getting alerts that it's broken again, but it looks like it's fine. Nope. Never mind. Fuck me. Oh, why did I break it? 12 points. 70, 80, 70, 83, so on. Nope, I don't. That was the wrong order. All right, I'm putting in risk just in case it vomits. I'm putting in a 1 ATR target. ATR is about 12.5. Yeah, okay. 1 ATR target, that gets hit. I move my stop to break even. Maybe I catch a runner. This is a completely different trade than what we're seeing over here, which is this trade that I've been in forever, that bullshit trade that I got kind of fucked on. And I've been in it ever since that fake out at 47. Hopefully this is a real trend change and not a fake out. We'll know soon. And it is not making me as optimistic as you'd think. Jesus. Like, this is the second time right here. This was a fake out, horrible fill, and another pump that it just, man, this is not going the way I needed to. It could be a fake out. And like I said, the risk is wide, so it's a tough play. Maybe it catches. I hope it catches. But we ran right up to that trend line. Pump, 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 smack. The risk is wide. That is a wide risk, buddy. I kind of wish I turned the bot off on that one. I don't like how wide the risk is. I understand why the risk point is there, because that's like the last swing point. So I get it, but based on the account buffer, I wish I either went to one contract or just didn't take the trade at all. And I'm saying that regardless of how this plays out. This could easily keep going and I make a bunch of money. But in terms of risk management, if you do that time and time again, it's only a matter of time before you find the bad beat. And that's what you have to be conscious of all of the time, of are you putting yourself at risk? So once again, if this works, sick, cool, awesome. That doesn't mean I like it though. Doesn't mean I like it. And I'm in two different trades. One of them I'm long at 70. The other one I'm long at 77. So basically, I would love this above 80. Maybe I just move my risk up to this. I guess that's me kind of overriding the system a little bit. Order rejected. What the fuck, dude? I'm getting weird internet issues, I think. Or connection. I have to dive into whatever these errors are. But regardless, maybe I could get lucky. NVIDIA's going. This is giving me a bit of hope. Maybe we're stabilizing here. I don't like that wick whatsoever on the S&P 500. But once again, target, if it can just get above 40, 46, and 50 in that order, but not liking that wick. Praying it's a bit of a fake out. Let's go. Come on, Icarus, bring us home. Bring it. Oh my God. How many times do I have to quote unquote get lucky with this bullshit? Are you fucking kidding me? 1.5 points away. We just went from 78 to 60 in like 10 seconds. What is happening right now? Is someone talking? Like, it feels like volatility in range is like really starting to pick up. Like, look at this. We dumped, we pumped, we dumped. And that was all in 1.5 minutes. We went from 70 down to 45 up to 77, maybe even higher, maybe 80, back down to 50 something. And now we're climbing back. What the fuck is going on right now? I don't think anyone's talking. Hang on, let me check the news. There's something with the 70-year notes and bonds going on. Dude, we definitely have some vol hit in the system. We definitely have some. That's not good on the S&P 500. But the NVIDIA is trying to go. So tech is attempting to lead the way higher today. Oh, dude, I just want to lock this in. Like, just lock it in, and then I can figure it out after. Like, why am I this unlucky that it could get that close and no fill? Come on. Lock her in, baby. Don't reject me. Don't do this to my heart. Yep, it's doing that to my heart. I'm not even at clear sell side resistance. My fill's, what was it at? My fill's at 80. No one else is even trying to sell it at 80. There's people at like 84, 85. It's not like I'm like on the other side of some massive sell zone. I guess if I were, I would kind of understand. I'm like, oh, okay, that's unfortunate. It just got busted. But the only people trying to sell are up at 85. All I needed was right here. I just needed this little, no one's there. No one's been there. Wait, that's a lie. There was people at 78. That's why that first wick for me didn't work. And then they lowered it here to 75, but we busted through that. And now no one's there. I just need my little order all the way up here. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. One little basic. That's not even, I don't even feel like that's asking for too much, you know? Just one little. Let's just send it home. Let's just send it home. Come on. Come on. You could do it. We got to end the stream on a positive note. Let's end the stream on a positive note. Here we go. Come on. Let this be the push. A little bit of a wedge, some higher. Yeah, fill it. Fill it. Let me turn the program off. Let's just. Son of a bitch, dude. This is going to make me die of blood pressure issues. Dude, how many times can we get this close? How many times can we get this fucking close? All right, what's Bookmap showing us? Oh, Bookmap is now showing that a lot of people came in to sell at 76 for some reason. This is updating like abnormally. Like, there's a lot of vol right now for 11.10. Look at someone's trying to dump now at 76. Where is this player coming from, and what the fuck is going on? They just took him out, and then someone else moved the order. Maybe that player moved the order up, but then they just pulled their order. What is going on today? Is Trump talking by chance? Oh, the U.S. Supreme Court to hear arguments over the legality of Trump's tariffs on November 5th. So that is hitting the wires right now. That could be causing a little, something's going on that we're seeing a bit of craziness here. I just don't know why it can be this close. Come on, just give me my fill, motherfuckers. Fill it. Finally. Hey, there we go. 800 locked in. Not a bad deal. All right, but I'm still in this play, which has a better fill. Oh, wait, and one's already locked in. Oh, never mind. Scratch that. Nope, break even. Break even it. All right, cool. All risk off the table, team. All right, so Icarus on the big accounts locked in 800. Right here, 2.4K locked in on the small new guys, and then the stop is to break even. So the worst case is a 2.4K gain, and if it runs, it runs. Wow. Wow. Whew. Brother. Jesus Louises. What a day we've been having. What a freaking day. So tech is picking up. Unfortunately, the SPY is flat. So that's probably good for my Q's position, which is currently up 13,000. The SPY position is now stagnant at 15. At one point today, that was 22, 23. So it's definitely given some back. But I would love for the SPY to, once again, you want to see the takeout of 40, then 46, then 50. In that order, you want this to be that double bottom. NVIDIA's picking up. NASDAQ may be going for that new high. Interesting times. Wow. All All right, before I let you go, don't forget, if you want an Apex account, use that code Goonie. If you want a Take Profit account, don't forget to use that code Goonie. If you want both an Apex and a Take Profit account, don't forget to use that code Goonie. You're going to get nice discounts, and the current deals are very good. I use both of them. You don't have to only use one. Use the one that, if you like one better, use that. If you like them both, use them both. But obviously, a shout out to both Apex and Take Profit Trader in the description of the video, pinned to the top of chat. And if you have any questions on like sim defunded, how does it work? How does it not work? That's exactly what the, how do I find it? How do I find my other channel? Right here. This is also on Rumble, just so you know, but we make a lot of videos. Vanquish Trader, that's for stocks and options. Option trading, beating Apex with AI, explaining the rules of like all this, that Apex rules explained, prop trading explained. So there's a lot of explanation and breakdown videos there if you care about it. So you could go to the backup channel. It's also on Rumble. And as you just heard, I think I got stopped out for break even. So, okay, locked in 2.4K. So not going to cry about that. Sometimes you have a runner, sometimes you don't. Sometimes that is life. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. We'll be posting an update video later on. Obviously, with the remainder of the day, I beg of you, be disciplined, stick to your trading plan. Don't take on outsized risk that you're not planning to do, and just stick to exactly what you know you should be doing. Obviously, we're in the territory of new all-time highs. I gave you my levels for SPY, Qs, IWM, Tesla, NVDA, SPX. So I hope they help you out. If you like them, use them. And if they're not for you, hey, they're not necessarily meant for everyone. So best of luck. I hope you made a shitload of money. If you want, I'll catch you in the Discord. There is a Goonie trading Discord, so I'm going to go hang out there for a bit. That's what I have for you guys. Hope you have a phenomenal day. I'll catch you in the update video. Best of luck. Peace.